Sun beats down, hot ground is rough. Farmer's Tan podcast got me feeling tough. Sweating through the days, ain't no broken plan. Talking with the folks from this thirsty land.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Farmer Tan podcast. I am Jake in the 308. And first things first tonight, if we sound a little bit different, well, the Farmer Tan podcast studio got turned over to a better project.
Yeah.
We needed the space for something non-podcast related, and so we are actually legitimately at the feed store now.
That's right.
We are in the Farmer Tan podcast broadcast booth number 2, or as we like to call it, the Deuce.
The Deuce. Yeah,
So-
we didn't talk about that.
So if we sound a little different, that is why. But amongst everything else, I am at the north side of the table now, which is a complete departure from where I used to be. And you're used to Aiden Bushels and Beef being on the south side of the table. South? See, we can't even
South
talk
side.
because we're all turned around.
I know. It's just new surroundings. I mean, we're creatures of habit.
It's ridiculous. But Jared Aiden, he is on the east side of the table
Oh, that's
tonight.
different.
Jared, how you doing?
Oh, now you said that, I'm a little confused now.
I know.
I'm used to be in the western part of the state.
I know. I understand.
Boy, I got used to all this precipitation over here.
Right? Yeah. But we grow better soybeans on this side.
Whoa, easy now. Easy now.
All right. And the third voice you're going to hear in the studio tonight, if you pay any attention at all on social media, you might know him as the Korean corn farmer. Noah is with us tonight. Noah, how you doing, bud?
I'm good.
Thank you for making the trip up here to be with us.
It was a long 50-minute drive.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you could pull it off. So that's good. We're glad to have him riding along, and we'll
Yeah.
probably get to some of that as we go here.
And if
So-
you notice something different about his username, it's unique. The Korean corn farmer is just something unique about him, and that's the fact that he farms corn.
Yeah,
He
that's
does.
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're glad
Just wanted to get that out there since we don't have video.
we don't. But we are getting dangerously close to starting
That's
we're going to make this a video cast or whatever.
That's right. Yeah,
Um,
can't be doing idle threats. So
No, we're going to get a camera up in here and we're going to
Yeah.
do it for real for everybody. So like it or not. All right, guys, what wintertime has came big time to the great Cornhusker State here in the last, well, really just these last 3 days.
yeah,
I don't know what you guys had. I had minus 12 this morning. So
minus 11.
yeah,
We're closer to the equator.
that's true.
Yeah. I think that's about, I don't know. I just knew it was cold.
Yeah.
When my dog doesn't want to go outside to go to the restroom in the morning, it's pretty cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Noah, do you got, I guess we didn't ask earlier when we were eating supper, but livestock or just row crop?
Just row crop. And then I got a dog.
Yep.
So that's my livestock.
Yep.
Hey,
But
there you go.
we want to get into it one day, but, Mom right now, she's busy being a grandma. So hopefully in the future.
Oh, yeah. You'll never get her away from that itch.
No. So
Nope.
hopefully when I get a hired man one day, we can get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly for something to do. It's kind of boring in the winter here.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but it's negative 11. You probably are thankful you don't have a bunch of cows. So
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. These last couple 3 days, you probably weren't too upset.
Yeah. I'm not really built for the cold. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So we, everything actually is going quite well, for the most part. Yeah. Just make sure fuel's treated up, make sure stuff is plugged in. Feed tractor's been running fine. Loader tractor's been running fine. But I will say I am about half to 3/4 of the way to the pens by the time the power steering wants to join the chat.
oh, yeah.
Tractor fires off, everything works like it's supposed to, but boy, the hydraulics in the feeding tractor are pretty tough. So
Yeah, the heaters take a little while to get going.
they do.
It's true.
It's not going to bail you out right away.
No, that is a fact. We got the hydraulic gate on the feed wagon, and normally I pull up to the gate, I let the thing finish mixing for a little bit while I open the gate, I pull through the gate, and on the way to the feed bunk, I hit the lever, or the lever, as the other podcast we listen to likes to call it. I push the lever, and it, by the time I get to the bunks, the gate's open. I am starting about an eighth of a mile away from the pen and just hold on the lever the whole way there. And by the time I get to the gate, I finally got the gate on the feed wagon open. So, that's been extra fun, I guess. But
Oh, yeah.
do you have any tales of woe from the cold weather?
I've actually gotten along pretty good. I guess it was cold enough my battery didn't want to kick the starter on in the pickup this morning. So that was about the only thing. It's a gas burner, but yeah, it's just so cold. The battery's like, negative 11 must be the cutoff point.
Yeah, that must be. That's where
But otherwise, water's been running, and yeah, that's I think I finally learned my lessons after a few years of doing irresponsible things.
That's good. That's good. We've been fighting some water as well. If you follow along on YouTube or Facebook, I did make a couple posts about that wood burner tank heater. And so the way our one corral is set up, we've got a humongous tire tank on the top side, and then it gravity feeds a smaller, steel tank down below. That steel tank is never, ever, ever in the sun this time of year. And so on top of that, it's getting cold water out of the tank, which I know groundwater is cold too, but this time of year, 56-degree water will melt ice,
Yeah.
But it's always getting water that is just right at the freezing point out of that other tank. It'll turn into a block of ice like nobody's business. So we put wood burner tank heater in there and fire that up and keep it all melted out. But actually the top side tank, the float froze up one day. And so they drank the steel tank down and it refilled, and they drank it down and it refilled. And then finally they ran the top tank empty and got up there and like, whoa, this is not good. And so broke the float loose and got it going, and everything was fine, but it's on a pump jack. For those of you that are not familiar, think of a windmill without the windmill part, and then it's an electric motor that runs a set of arms up and down, and so it pumps about a cup of water every stroke. And I think it ran for like 8 hours to get both those tanks filled back up. But anyway, if that's the worst thing that happens, we're fine.
Right.
One of Jared's favorite sayings is overkill is underrated.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we treat our power service fuel treatment with a little bit of diesel fuel. And so, so everything's been running fine and we've been good. So yeah.
Yeah.
But what's else new with you, Jared?
So yeah, I decided to try to get into the short-term cow game, and turns out everybody else is too. So I was just going to do some, calve them out, sell them as weigh-ups in the fall when I wean calves, and did get a few bought, but man, they've really taken off since the feeder calf market's taken off in the turn of the year. So broken mouth cows are 2,200 now. That's a little steeper than I was hoping to get into. And guess other than that, I think I've defeated the illness for about the 16th time since October. So just getting over another bug, and I don't know. I hate this time of year.
Yeah.
If I was in a pen of calves, I'd be labeled as a chronic.
Yeah.
I just seem to catch everything and get it the worst. And
that's, I don't know. That's what I was going to say too earlier, but this podcast could be probably sponsored by, I don't know.
Ricola.
Yeah.
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 That would be sweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or, Dayquil, NyQuil, or it sort of sounds like we're sponsored by Winston because everybody here is in some sort of state of fighting off an illness. So
It's like Noah looks pretty healthy over there.
yeah, he is. He's looking good. But
Until tomorrow now. He's just
well,
I don't think we're quite 6 feet apart, are we?
I don't know.
good luck staying healthy. Yeah. Noah, how about you? What's going on in your world, man?
Oh, well, I figured out it's really cold in the building. When I tried to start a few semis, move them out of the way, and that was a no-go on that
No
situation.
cold start videos for you.
No, I wish I even had a chance. It just clicked and that was it. So
It was just a cold click of
it
death.
was just a cold click. It didn't even try. So yeah, it's no, we just got some tractors home from getting service from John Deere. Shout out to Acres, and yeah, we were gonna try and put them away. The guy parked them right in front of the big door, so can't even open the big door yet.
Not until it warms up.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds like maybe Friday'd be a good day. Maybe you can get some stuff
that's the plan.
cranked up there. But yeah, so yeah, what else? I see you survived the 12-hour TikTok ban.
I did.
Unscathed,
Yeah.
so.
I didn't know if I was going to make it. I'm surprised it didn't set up a hotline for everybody that was struggling. But yeah, that was a wild situation.
Yeah.
I was going to be surprised either way. I'm like, well, it's probably going to come back, but if it doesn't, is what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw a 12-hour ban. I think everybody thought it would be resolved before the ban hit, or it's going to take a little while after. But yeah, a whole 12 hours.
That was a long time.
Yeah, that
a lot of people spent a lot of energy that they didn't need to.
The best part is some of my friends, they deleted the app.
Oh, no.
And they couldn't get the app back on the App Store. It wasn't available. So then they were really struggling knowing all their friends were TikToking.
Yeah.
That was a big withdrawal for them then.
Yeah. No TikTok for you.
Yeah. So, well, next time.
Yeah. Quitters never win.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. We have stopped occasionally, but we have never quit.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So if you don't know, they can find you where do they find you at on TikTok?
On TikTok, my username is Korean.cornfarmer with a K.
Yeah,
And,
both Ks.
Yep, both Ks. And then on Instagram is the same. And just going to start a YouTube channel going. So
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Do you put the R backwards? In
no,
Korn?
that would be awesome though.
I suppose that's probably a trademark problem.
Yeah, I'm sure someone would be upset about that.
Oh, you could turn it around in Korean though.
That could do, yes. Well, I was learning Mandarin for a night when TikTok went down. I see it was like 2
Picked
o'clock
up a
in the
new
morning.
hobby.
Yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning. I downloaded Red Note, and then I'm like, I need to know what all of their sayings, and so I just downloaded Learn Mandarin app, and I learned how to say hi, and that was about it.
Well, you never know. That might come in handy
They
someday.
could, yeah.
So actually, Noah and Jared are buddies.
Yeah.
So how did you guys end up?
So yeah, we went to
Meeting each
college
other.
together, both in agronomy. So I think Noah, did you graduate with a degree in agronomy or was it a minor?
Minor.
That's what I thought.
I wasn't smart enough to get a
Oh,
major in
no,
there.
that's not true. You were smart enough to get both because you're ag econ major, right?
No, I wasn't smart enough for that either.
So as I say, we're good friends, so I know everything there is to know.
Yeah, boy, you're really.
We'll just keep guessing here.
Well, before college, we went golfing.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
in school.
Man, I got a story about that. I was hoping it'd come up. So way to go, Noah. Yeah, I remember. So I went up for high school golf just to learn how to golf. It was available because we had a kid who was really good at it. Move, our school never had it before, so I did that. And how golf meets work is they basically pair you up on ability level.
Mhm.
And let's just say the ability level I was at, there wasn't a gallery that followed us around.
Oh yeah.
So I can't remember what invite it was.
You had to carry your own clubs.
Oh yeah.
Well, y'all had to. That was just proper etiquette. But we just weren't carrying away Callaways.
Oh, wow.
They were brands you've never heard of before.
I had a smorgasbord.
Yeah. So anyway, we were out at this meet, and I remember my coach started off with me in my group. He's following me around. So we were going, and I see who's in my group, and Noah's there. And I, just met him and got to golf, and I'm like, man. And I know we don't have a video, but Noah, you have like cerebral palsy, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
one of his arms doesn't work quite as good. I'm like, man, finally someone I can golf with. And no, Noah beat me pretty sound, even in my group, and to the point that my coach was actually cheering for him more than he was me.
Well, you need to understand in our group, if you got a bogey, that was like in the
That was
birdie.
great. We
Like,
all
that was-
celebrated
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Bogey golf was like fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you could keep it under double digits, that's a solid hole.
Yeah,
I mean, but
snowmans were not uncommon.
no, it was kind of, I mean, we'd each golf a couple good holes around, but there's always those. I mean, they make you count every stroke. There's no mercy rule, like you pick it up after this many. They're like, nope, if you go 16, you got to.
Yeah.
It got rough there.
This
for a
was
little
not
bit.
like the bank outing we go on where we're like, well, that's a
no.
that's a club.
No,
length,
it's very
right?
by the rules. So
It was the most weirdest thing because it's like terrible golf, but by the book.
exactly.
Like, it made no sense.
Yeah, that sounds no fun at all.
No, it was
I
terrible.
wish it was like Mario Kart where you kind of had power ups for the people that were so far behind to like catch up to the leader.
Right. You just get like a banana peel or something. Really isn't all that helpful.
Get that bullet to kind of help you catch up, take a few strokes off.
Just
Yeah.
being able to make noise when someone's swinging. Because there always seemed to be that one kid in the group that nobody liked.
Yes.
He took it. Like, it was like he was a Tiger Woods, but he was with everybody else that was terrible. He
That's
just didn't want
exactly
to
right.
admit
I was trying to think if that meat or not, but there was always one guy who just bragged. You're like, you wouldn't be paired with us if you were half as good as you were talking.
it. You're talking like you're amazing. So your team must be incredible.
Right.
That's what.
Right.
Because I thought it was that one maybe with our group that this kid was like, yeah, I was out in the driving range with the putter and I hit one like 280 yards. And it's from the school I was nearby.
I actually did use a putter to tee off once.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was in Oxford. There's a green in between trees on both sides, and I had hit one left and hit one right, and they both went out of bounds. So I figured, well, I can putt pretty straight. So I just took my putter out and smoked the crap out of it. And I got the tee really good. The ball just kind of went in the air and came back down.
That's the thing. You saw a lot of unconventional tactics in our group
yes.
because, traditional golf was not working for us. So why not try the unconventional? So, yep, met Noah there. And then in college, UNL, we both went there, both took a lot of agronomy classes together. And this, telling you how good of a guy Noah is. My future wife, not at the time, but she had a kind of a rough first year with her roommate, and Noah was nice enough to let her basically hang out in his room all the time to kind of get away from that situation. So my wife, Molly, and Noah had been good friends since the start, and I kind of got to know him through college. And but now I always appreciated you doing that for Molly. Was kind of she said that was a pretty rough year, but if it was, Noah helped her get through that. So
yeah. And the crazy part is I met her roommate at the, I guess the pre-college meetup where everybody went to Kazan or whatever. And I met her and I'm like, wow, she's really cool. And then she started talking about how her roommate was so boring and everything. So I'm like, she sounds horrible. So I met Molly. I'm like, wait a minute, you got this all wrong.
Yeah, good times for sure. Yeah.
Yep, that's kind of where we started. And he was an usher in our wedding, and just known him ever since.
Yeah,
but,
awesome.
Never thought to run into him after that golf meet, but it's kind of, I thought,
just kidding.
It's like, it's like that's a guy with 1.5 good arms. I might actually be able to beat somebody in my group. And like I said, my coach was more enthusiastic about his good hits than anything I did.
Well, they were very rare. So finally, you got one.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? We've got through Inauguration Day, and that all went, basically according to plan, I think. So nothing terribly exciting there. We've got the cold weather covered.
Yeah.
Cattle prices are still very favorable.
Yeah.
Corn is actually rebounded a little bit. I think it's still
There's a little hope.
I got all mine sold, so I don't know.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking old crop or new crop?
Yeah, old crop.
Okay.
I don't know, new crop. I've got a guy that markets my corn, so
I was like, man, if you got your new crop sold, I need to make a phone call here quick.
Well, you can sell yours too.
You could. Yeah, no.
Hey, don't you know a guy?
I was going to say, I'm going to have to call our first guest here real quick.
Wait a minute. We had him on here.
Yeah, no, I got a marketer to sell for me. This is probably my 3rd year now. And
okay.
Oh, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
He'll call me up. Oh, hey, well, the market's doing this. I wish I knew what he was talking about. But at the end, I'm always like, hey, just treat it like it's yours.
Yeah.
Go for it, whatever you think.
Yeah.
So
you guys are corn, beans,
yep.
alfalfa,
Corn, beans.
Anything else? Wheat?
We got our pivot corners are alfalfa.
Okay.
But we have those custom done. So just corn and soybean.
Corn and beans.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd this past year go for y'all?
Well,
year summary.
On one side of the road, my corn did very mediocre thanks to the hail and all that stuff. And on the other side of the road, my mom had a personal record. So I don't know how that works, but so I guess that was kind of an idea of what this fall was going to be like.
Did she rub it in a little bit, or
She didn't really pay attention until I told her. I don't think she would have known.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, this corn's incredible.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that hail. I think about everybody got a taste of that this year.
Yep. Yeah. Just depending on when and how many times.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a fact. What farm machinery choice of color is?
Oh, John Deere green for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's been fun having Noah on here.
I'm one of those guys.
No. You brought a Ford pickup. We'll let you stay.
I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
Which Jake will even argue that too, but I'm starting to think he just likes to argue, so he'll take whatever side makes a good argument.
Well, I mean, I did drive a Chevy today, but I do have a Ford.
Yeah. I've got a couple Chevys, so
we kind of alluded this in the past podcast a little bit, but we were talking about vehicles having names, and I said, "Oh, I know our next guest names every vehicle, and every tractor." So,
yep.
I just try to remember. I think you have a tractor named Lola, right?
Yep, and her twin sister Lila.
Yep.
and they are
what models?
Oh, 8235Rs.
Both of them.
Yep.
Okay. That's why they're
I-
twins.
Yeah, Dad bought both of them the guy he called, he's like, hey, well, we got a tractor here for you. And he's like, I know that you've been leasing one from your custom harvester. Well, we got another one like it. And Dad's like, should I just get both of them? I'm like, yeah. We had an 8200 at the time. And I'm like, yeah, we need to that way we can
both.
fix them. Yeah, identical parts. So, yeah.
Then he's got a real nice pickup. I'm trying to think. What's your pickup's name?
Adeline.
Adeline.
Yeah,
That's right.
And her sister's name is Wilma.
Well,
Yep.
when one went down the road, you had a real negative relationship with one of them.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, she was terrible. Good old 6-0.
Yeah.
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 You know, they're really good pickups if you fireproof them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, right. But if
Until they're not.
if they're really good, I wouldn't have to do all that.
Yeah, if
to
they were a
them.
good machine, you wouldn't have to do all these.
So
extra
you lease your
features.
combines though, right? Every 2
Yeah,
years.
we do.
So do you
Yep.
rename each one you get?
Yeah, every time we get a new
Every
one.
2 years you got to
Yeah.
rename it. So what's the current
Yeah.
one?
Matilda.
Matilda.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you name the heads too, or just the combine?
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, what stupid question.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys just talk.
But
I'll
he-
sit over here and ponder it.
But he does do something cool with his corn head. He paints the tips red, white, and blue before
Oh,
every
yeah.
harvest.
I saw a picture of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That really
Yeah.
gets people going. Apparently, everybody's super busy all the time. So how dare I take 2 hours?
Take
to
2
paint my
hours.
corn
To
head?
paint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You know, and okay,
As they're commenting while they're scrolling
Yeah,
TikTok.
yeah.
we're gonna revisit this really quick, but I got this burning question about what's the name of the lawnmower then?
Oh, Doris?
Okay.
Or no, not Doris. Dorothy. Excuse
Okay.
me.
Dorothy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to make
There
sure.
was a Doris in there at one point, but no, Dorothy's a little.
All right, I just wanted to make sure you'd named the lawnmower. All right, so we're just gonna go there right off the bat. Is it not interesting to you how much hatred is on social media from people who like? Why do you even care? Okay,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
you have a dude, you don't know him, you've
Mhm.
never met him, you're probably never gonna meet him. He paints the tips of his, snoots on his corn head, and you take time out of your busy day to be hateful
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why?
I don't know. I guess it makes them feel better about themselves or something with their 10 followers.
Right? Hey,
Yeah.
careful. We've got we've got 11 now, so
Oh,
They're not
you're
our
good.
10
You're
followers.
good.
we just borrowed them from some
Yeah.
other content creator. But you know what is interesting? So I'm a diehard red guy,
Mhm.
and once upon a time I had everything washed up, shined up really nice, and beautiful day out, in late fall, early winter. And I thought I'm going to line these up in the hayfield and take a picture. So I did, and obviously I was super proud of that picture. So
Right.
I put it up on Facebook, and I'm sure it was some kid living in his mom's basement
Uh-huh.
or whatever, but he had all sorts of things to say about that. And I'm like, what? I don't know you. I wasn't
Right.
posting it even anywhere. You just saw that picture.
Right. It wasn't for you.
No.
Yeah.
And I wasn't bad mouthing deer in the picture. It was just like, hey, here's got the lineup washed up and ready for winter. And
Right.
like, oh, that's a bunch of junk and all this other stuff. Oh, those 56 series, they were garbage. And I'm like, what?
Sleep.
Well, you seem to know an awful lot about them, though.
You weren't even being thought of as. Yeah. So
So,
the tractors are that old. It's like, dude, nobody even thought of creating you yet. So
Yeah,
right.
What the heck?
right. So what is the most absurd comment you've got as far as you're like, I'm not even gonna respond to this?
Well, I mean, most of them I do because it's hilarious. But I get the go farm some rice, all that
Yeah, I've
stuff.
seen a lot of
and
those.
which
yeah.
is, yep.
I'm
Which,
like, I really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe tell your backstory because I was telling you about Jake when we were introduced, and I'm like, no one's more of an American than probably I am. So
Yeah, so I was adopted from Seoul, South Korea when I was 5 months, I think. And since then I've been in Nebraska, United States. So,
Yeah.
so people would never know. Like listening here, you probably would think I'm just another, I don't know, white guy or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, so I was talking to a friend from college and he didn't have social media. And so I kind of wanted to mess with him. So when he called, he's like, hey, I'm here at the dorm. You want to come down? We can meet and you can help me bring stuff up. And my first thought was like, well, I don't want to help him bring stuff up. And then I could have some fun with this. So he came into my room and he's like, Noah? I'm like, oh, no. no problem. His face, I wish I had TikTok back then. It was fantastic. But yeah, he's like, I don't want to be racist. So when they say that, they're going to say something racist.
Yeah,
Whether they really mean to or not. But he's like, I thought you were white. I didn't know you were Asian. And yeah, so I just love messing with people with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's certainly a good attitude to have about it. But
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it just and I'm not going to get on a soapbox about it. But I think that's one of the reasons part of me was like, if they're taking down TikTok, like, so be it. Because like social media in general, for all the good that it does, man, there's so much garbage that goes along with it. And I mean,
that's the thing. Like the video wasn't even divisive or anything. Just talking about what he's doing that day, combining some Korn, and someone just jumps in with that, and I'm like, what? Where'd this come from? Like, this is, hugely unnecessary. But then you make a spoof video about it. I'm like, that's hilarious.
I think that one I replied by going to a sorghum field, Milo, and I was like, I found some brown rice. That's a new variety.
Brown rice.
But yeah, it's every time I see a comment like that, I'm like, that's fuel for the fire. We're gonna make a video.
I know it
that.
bounces right off you, but I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, just why?
Yeah. Well, and the best part is when they delete their comment right after. I had one guy, he commented, it was something nasty. I can't quite remember what it was. I know I can't probably say it on here, but I made a video about it, and then he actually deleted his account.
No kidding.
Yeah.
not just the comment, the whole account.
No, everybody just hopped on and just started roasting him on his videos. I'm like, okay, you guys didn't need to do that. It's kind of funny, but he ended up deleting his account.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So most of the comments, there's like no content or anything. You don't even know what they look like. So it's a lot easier that way.
Yeah, and so much of that, I'm not even sure. It's probably just trolls anyway. I mean, there's so many just junk accounts and. Yeah, whatever. But
so that might be the biggest question to have. What got you into social media starting to do it?
Well, it was Harvest. What was it, like 2019, 2018? And I was super bored. And my friend had told me about this app called TikTok. I'm like, that sounds dumb. I was like, all right. So I downloaded and start watching. And it was crazy. You just saw a bunch of like random videos. And then I started seeing a lot of farming videos. And I was just thinking, I could do that. So I just posted a small one. It got like 100 views. I was losing my mind. It's so awesome. And so I just kept posting, and then one just blew up out of the sudden, and I just started getting a following. And it just,
I think that's pretty neat when I hear how that started. A lot of people, probably the best creators, I say that's how it started. It was just innocent as, well, why not make a video?
Yeah.
Just keep going at it. So,
yep.
What's interesting to me, and I can't completely take credit for this thought, even though I agree with it, but I saw somewhere people were talking about social media and stuff like that, and we are conditioned to, oh man, if it doesn't go viral, or it doesn't blow up big, like, it was kind of a failure. But in real life, if you had 20 people like what you were doing and come tell you that, like, oh man, you'd be, you'd feel really good about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jared and I are still in this, like, we're pretty new at all this. And we've had some stuff get, over 1,000 views, and we're like, oh man, watch out, Joe Rogan, we're coming for you.
We're like, we got it figured out. And then we're like, oh man, this next one's going to be great. And 150 views.
Yeah. Then we torpedo it.
That's how it goes. Yeah. To me, it's always the ones I think are hilarious, never really do that well.
Yep.
And then it's just the most random thing. Like there was one that blew up. I literally had a near a Korn, and I just moved it around to make it look like it was going to my head, like the pencil trick that people do. So I just did that, and I posted it. It wasn't doing anything. So I checked like an hour later, and it hit like 5,000 views.
Really?
Oh, this is amazing. I go to like brush my teeth that night. I look, it's at 1 million views.
Oh, wow.
You're kidding.
No. And the next morning it had jumped another million. I think it's like at 15 million views now.
That is
really
crazy.
But yeah, and that's where I really started taking off, because there's all these people like, wow, how did he do that? like actually thought it was going into my skull. Like, damn, I'm really good.
I'm pretty magical.
Yeah. And so I just was,
Oh man,
that's awesome. All right, so calm down, because we're still excited about like 1,500 views.
Yeah.
But
back to the drawing board.
right. But a small version of that is, so one day I was doing, killing a little time, and it was like the first cold day that most of the region had. and everybody and their brother is putting up cold start videos,
yes.
you know, and I'm like, you got like, okay. So anyway, got a gas burner Chevy with a 6.0 in it, you know. So I did a cold start video of that. Like, well, let's see if it starts. You know, it hit the key and like, like, oh my bad, that didn't take long. You know? But it went to like 1,300 views like instantly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was just a dumb, just making fun of people doing cold start
starts,
videos, which.
yeah.
I mean, I get it's kind of cool, but at the same time, like, you seen one, like, what difference does it make?
Yep.
To me, it's always the ones like, all right, is it going to start or is it like battery dead or what's going on here?
Yeah.
And, you know, like when it's a minute long, is it going to start? And then they cut the video off. I just get so mad. Like,
I know.
I know.
Or it takes 30 seconds for them to actually get going on it. Because I'm like, how about you set your phone up, then start recording?
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes those are the videos. They're just the most random, nobody's ever made a video kind of thing, and then they just explode.
Oh, yeah.
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 Dude's got like 1,000 followers, and then just
Yeah.
Huh.
tons of views.
So, yeah, I don't know. We're still waiting for our blow up
Yeah.
moment,
It'll
but
happen.
We're not there yet.
I mean, I was that guy too. It's just just that random luck.
No, it's just interesting. I mean, when it started, I was a slow adopter of TikTok. I mean, I was just like, I probably don't need another one. And people kept telling me about it. But yeah, it was great. And then when I started seeing your videos on there with the comments and how well you handled it, I'm like, oh, man, it's like this is just right up Noah's alley.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on.
I'm like, he made it, through the rural Midwest where there's about zero diversity, and then through East Campus and college. I'm like, this guy's skin's pretty thick. I don't think you're not gonna get to him.
But that is also kind of a good point. Like, you come out here to middle of Nebraska, which, like you said, is all you've ever known,
Right.
and get along good, go to East Campus, get along good, and then it's social media that gets after you.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
are you kidding me?
Yeah. You think
know?
where there'd be a lot more like understanding and inclusivity kind of thing.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and they're the ones
Especially
that are
in
like,
this day and age.
how dare you be Asian
Yeah.
and farm?
Right.
Because I guarantee you, someone said that to Noah on East Campus, there'd be 50 people waiting to
Yeah.
put their face into the curb. So.
Yeah.
Which
I don't
honestly,
And we're
Sorry.
the ones labeled as the don't understand anything about ethnic
Right, yeah.
diversity.
and I will say, I think that brings up two good points. One is, like, really, Nebraska's got a bunch of really good people.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I'm sure there's been some stuff at some point or whatever, but for the most part, good people. But also, people are, and I hate to borrow stuff from that one other podcast that we listen to. But people are inclined to say all sorts of stuff when there's no fear of like bodily harm going
Right.
to happen directly after
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I say something to you and I'm going to get punched in the face, maybe I don't say the same thing, but I'm hiding behind a keyboard. Well,
Right.
I'm big and tough and
Yeah.
say what I want, but I don't know. That is,
I actually met a person at Louisville, and he came up to me. He's like, "Oh man, I
you mean
follow
Louisville?
Yeah, Louisville.
Louisville?
Louis? No.
No, it's okay. Okay.
So yeah, I'm at the bar, PBR bar, and this dude comes up. He's like, "Yeah, man, I follow you." I'm like, "Cool." He said, "I actually kind of gotta apologize because I dropped a hateful comment one time," and I'm like, "Oh, did I reply to it?" Yeah, I'm like, "Then we're good."
Then we're good.
Thanks. So,
Good for him for owning
oh
it.
yeah, I bought him a beer and we sat and talked for a while.
Yeah.
But that just proves your point. Like, in person, here comes this meek and mild wants to meet you and
Right.
apologize, where, when he was hundreds of miles away and anonymous, he could
Yeah.
say stuff like that.
Mm,
So, and there's probably no way of knowing, I suppose, but some of the less than savory comments you get, is it from other people in the ag world, or
it's about 50-50.
Really?
Probably a little more
Really?
than that, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
kind of surprising to me how much like toxicity there can be within a farming community.
Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous. But
Yeah.
yeah, and that goes beyond, just like race, like people that do no-till or
Yeah.
till,
Ooh,
right.
guys that plow.
Look
oh
out.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh.
tell a no-tiller that you're strip tilling, and all of a sudden
Oh
you're
my
the worst
goodness,
thing
or
ever.
discing or anything.
No,
Yeah.
you
I
need-
I
What?
actually dissed a field I didn't need to, just to make a video to tick off a no-tiller. I'm like, this isn't, I don't need to till this, but I'm going to just because you said not to.
And the other thing I like is you post your mess ups, which no farmer on social media I have even wants to admit they screw up. But it's always by the road, isn't it?
Oh, every time. Yeah. GPS will work flawless 99% of the time until I'm right on the highway.
Like you forget to shift over 15 inches or somehow you got 4 rows off coming up to the center point.
One time I was gone and I forgot to hit the auto button. And I started going and then hit it and it just whoop, right over.
And you don't think you're off that far either till you hit it. And then
and then when it pops out of the ground, you're like, oh, it's gonna go disc it under.
And make a TikTok.
But we all do it.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
But I think I don't know. I heard something once and it stuck with me. But farmers are some of the greatest people you ever meet and some of the worst. And I don't know. That just keeps getting to be more and more prevalent. It seems like so.
I used to back in the day. I was on. Oh, this is how old I am. I was on Twitter when it was Twitter.
Oh, yeah. It was?
But, I really liked it because it seemed to be less censored than, other social media. I mean, you could find real information. You could kind of say what you wanted. I really liked it for that. But there was a guy, and I guess write the show if you're that guy. But there was a guy in Iowa, I think, who was growing confinement beef like in a hoop shed. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there were people coming at him like he was pushing down little old ladies, you know? And it's like, why do you care?
Exactly.
Like, he was pretty good about it, but I mean, if you can't, grow cattle in a feedlot and whatever. And he's like, what? Why does it matter to you?
Right.
And anyway, that's actually why I ended up getting off of Twitter. Is I'm like, I'm done with the farmer on farmer hate.
Yeah.
Like, we're all out here just trying to make a living. Who cares?
If you want, there's something worse than that. If you ever go on welding talk,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There is not a single person on earth who can please everybody with a weld.
Yeah.
It is. It is amazing.
All right, being you brought that up, and you are far more traveled than I am, so I'm hoping maybe you know the answer to this. Why? And I'm going to be careful and tactful because I don't know who listens to the show. But could somebody explain to me why, like, pipeline welders, why those guys have tiny little boxes on big dually pickups? I'm not trying to be mean. I truly don't understand.
I don't either.
Like, they are so narrow that they have to add the fenders to cover the wheels, and they cut them off at the back. Like, I saw one for sale on, I don't know, Marketplace or whatever. The guy had cut the back of the frame of the pickup all the way up to like the back shackle on the springs on the back. It was that short.
Really?
And like a Miller Bobcat welder rig was like took up half of it. And I'm like, why do we have a 1 ton? Like, couldn't you do that with an S10? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand.
It would look more impressive that way.
Yeah.
I think.
Especially if it was a dually S10.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not trying to be hateful. Seriously, if you are a welder and you have a rig like that, get a hold of us and why do you do that? What is the reason? Yeah. I'm sure there's a reason. I just don't know what it is. So I don't know. I had to get that off my chest.
Let me know what you find out.
I'll probably get somebody tell me where I need to go grow my crops at.
Because I'm sure you get people on there asking you, like, how many acres are you farming? You're not a real farmer if you don't farm 20,000 acres.
All the time.
Yeah, so how many acres? No.
my favorite part is when they'll say, well, we farm 10,000 acres, and the dude's like a hired man.
Oh, yeah.
or we got a brand new 8R 250 or, like all these brand new machines. And it's like, bro, you like literally just work here.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, you do you, but yeah, when they take ownership and that's me. Like that just kind of annoys me.
Yeah. I mean, do the best you can with whatever size operation you have.
Right.
Have everybody else do the same. I just don't understand why everybody thinks they need to farm everything and tell everybody else how to do it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not taking farming advice from someone in Illinois. They have no idea what to do out here.
Right. And I'm not going to take any farming knowledge from Iowa because I don't like them. But
See, I'm not the only one that does that sort of thing. What do you got against Iowa, man?
everything.
That's fair enough.
They're Iowa.
Humidity.
Because they leave a lot of nasty comments.
Yeah.
Every time we lose to them in football.
Yeah. It's like they should love us because we always manage to mess it up.
We give them the game.
Yeah.
It's like we're the best charity to Iowa football ever had.
But we will be great again someday.
That's right.
One day.
One day.
Maybe.
Hey,
made a
this
bowl
offseason
game.
looks great. Don't it?
Yeah.
I think we're going to win another offseason championship.
I hope so.
I mean,
Oh, man.
we're just removed from kind of a halfway disappointing season. I'm already pretty pumped up with the
Well,
transfer portal.
Yeah.
And you enjoy
Yeah.
the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, that's self-admittance.
Like I'm over there and I say I'm not drinking it this year, and then when no one's looking, just down a whole cup.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
I got a buddy who always calls about the new recruits we get and everything. And this is the guy that was losing his mind when we got Jeff Sims. He's like, this is going to turn the program around. Jeff Sims is going to make us great. And so every time he calls me, he'll tell me, I'm like, is his name Jeff Sims? I'm like, I don't care until he shows me something on the field.
No, I know. I can't help myself. I can't help it.
So he keeps calling me. I'm like, are you ever going to quit calling? No. I'm like,
And I know my problem because every player we get out of the transfer portal, you're like, oh man, that was a huge get. And everyone that
Yeah.
ends up going somewhere else, you're like, I probably wasn't that great of a player.
that wasn't.
No, we didn't need that guy.
he was terrible
Yeah.
anyway.
I mean, was he really that
Yeah.
coveted if he went to Kentucky or something?
Let me go back and delete my Facebook post where I was really excited about having him.
Yeah. Yeah, trying to ask him to come. You'll love it here.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't need him. Didn't need him anyway.
Yeah.
Would just be great.
Next year
without
we're
ya.
getting like 7 wins before
yeah.
a bowl game.
Yeah.
I bet we're getting 7.
I bet we knock a bowl game, get eligible real quick so that we
Yeah.
don't have that looming over our head. It'll be amazing what that does.
We'll get 5 wins right away and then
Yeah.
struggle.
This struggle.
Because that's never happened before.
This probably will come down to Iowa to see if we go
Yeah.
to a bowl again.
So there is, there's maybe a guy that I work with, and he's optimistic about Husker football all the time. And it drives him crazy when he's like, oh, what kind of season do you think we'll have? And I'm like, 50-50. Actually, I think 1 under. Like, I think we're going to lose 1 more than that. And he, are you kidding me? I'm like, sorry, man. They got to prove it to me.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't the 90s anymore.
No.
Like,
Oh,
you
man.
got to show up and show out if you want me to, get
I'm
on
just-
board. So,
I'm glad me and Jared went to college when we were still decent football.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
Go
at the
Bo.
Ohio State game that we were down like 28.
everybody
came back
started
and won.
leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there for the West. Let's see. Yeah,
Northwestern?
the Western
When
Camp Hail Mary.
Yes.
Yeah.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was actually in Iowa when we beat him
Was
in
it?
overtime with
Wh-
Kenny Bell.
Were you there at the Northwestern game where that was when he checked that deep pass? right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
that
there.
I can still tell you exactly which field of corn we were picking when that happened.
No kidding.
Really?
Listening to it on the radio.
The only bummer was we were in the opposite end zone of where it happened.
Oh, yeah.
So we couldn't see anything. We
Yeah.
saw the ball get launched, and then you just saw south end zone. The fans just erupt, and then you're like, "Oh, awesome!"
I think something has
And
happened.
then we had to watch it on the jumbotron.
Oh, yeah. You'll have that.
That's the craziest part is the best seats of the house are in your house. where
I
you can
know.
just watch straight off the TV.
Like you're
That
in the
is no
stadium
kidding.
and you're watching the jumbotron. You're like, "Knock
Yeah.
it off! You're here. Don't be watching
Yeah.
TV."
Yeah, that is a fact. The funny thing is so I was 14 in 97,
Oh man.
or maybe 13, 14, somewhere in there. So I really remember back in the day when we could play some ball.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man,
That had to be fun.
we will be good like that someday.
I hope so.
'Cause
That
it
would
was
be
a lot
awesome.
of
Like I said, I was young enough. It was kind of like you just assumed Nebraska was good because it was Nebraska. I mean,
Oh,
that's just how it was.
Yeah.
Now
It's
it's
the
like,
natural
I don't
order
know.
of things.
And look, I'll be honest. Like, I am not a bandwagon fan. I am still a fan of Husker football. I've lowered my expectations.
Oh yeah.
And I understand that we're not going to win every game. Jared is like sweating and fidgeting over there.
No, I know you're right. It's just I just don't want to believe it.
Look, I just don't want to be disappointed. So I've learned to manage those expectations.
Well,
It's
this
like you're
season-
talking sense to me. I just don't want to hear it.
Well, this past season, everyone, we're gonna get 9 or 10 wins. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want a bowl game, and oh man, we're gonna do way better than that. And so as the season starts going along, I start calling my friends. How about a bowl game this year?
Right?
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
know.
close.
Yeah.
I know.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got? BSB?
Yeah. So BSB this week is brought to you by our sponsor, Yoo-Hoo. Not the chocolate milk, just the saying.
Oh,
So if you're happy, you know it, let out a Yoo-Hoo.
Yoo-hoo.
You.
All right. Thanks to Yoo-Hoo. Okay. BSB, buy, sell, or burn to the ground. Pneumatic tools, battery-powered tools, or hand tools? Who's going to go first?
I'm going to go with buy hand tools,
Nice.
sell electric tools, and
All right.
burn pneumatics to the ground because I always have the luck of worrying if I'm going to poke a hole in a hose.
I hear
that. There could be one sharp object on a brand new floor, and I will find it with that hose. Hand tools are also easy to throw without feeling bad. If you throw a brand new Milwaukee tool, it's like, well, that was a bad idea.
I
But
like that's how you're logic. They're easier
a
to
cheap
throw.
little flathead screwdriver from Menards is pretty easy to get if you cannot find it.
Oh, that's funny. I should mention that's brought to you by our listener, Aiden Bowler. Came up with this.
It is.
BSB. Yes.
Yep, it is. Shout out to Aiden. Who,
Yeah.
I don't know if he said what his preference was, but
No, he didn't say.
probably Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a Milwaukee guy.
Yeah.
He seems like a cool guy.
Well,
His dad's DeWalt, so
At any rate, he is definitely like battery operated tool guy because he runs a lot
Probably.
of John Deere equipment. So, he's working on it.
He's got to have them.
easy there. Well,
I have a
since
lot too, so it's true.
I know Jake's has to think through all his contingencies quick, so
Yeah.
I'll go through go through mine. I'm going to buy the battery, which is surprising to say because growing up, battery-powered tools were half worthless.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I mean, I remember drilling holes in a post to hang a gate, and you would need it'd take you half a day because you'd take 2 batteries out, get halfway through the post,
Yeah.
and then you had to wait for the each to charge, which took 3 hours apiece, basically, and then go punch the rest of it through.
And they were like a heavy battery. Like,
They
oh,
were
yeah.
awful.
you think you'd
No
have so much
power.
power off of it, but they were just worthless.
No
Yeah.
power. They drained so fast.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But where they're at now is amazing. I mean, there's, I've got the Milwaukee line, which we could spend a lot of time on what brand preference you have, but the impacts, the amount of power those have, and how long they last have
They're
been great.
insane.
So I'll buy a battery. I think I'll sell hand tools, and I'm burning pneumatics. Kind of the same reason for going. Like the hoses get tangled.
Uh-huh.
Outside of my 1-inch impact, I really don't use pneumatic tools and even the 1-inch impact, it frustrates me. If I got something half rusted on, I'll get 2 of them, sit there and hammer on them. Well, now I got to wait for my air compressor to build right back
Yep.
up to peak pressure because otherwise I ain't getting nothing done. Well, I'm kind of stuck until that repressurizes. So yeah, I'm burning
Sounds kind of
pneumatic.
like you have a subpar air compressor.
Well, of course I do. I'm on a budget.
Dad got one of those big ones when we put in the building. We never used it. Since like the last few years, we finally cracked it open.
No,
It took almost a decade, it felt, to finally be able to use it. But yeah, that is one thing that we are pretty happy about.
Yeah. No, I bought the air compressor before I got into getting the tire changing tools.
Oh,
Before
yeah.
we had a tire machine, before I got the semi-hand tools. So I just got one that didn't have a lot of capacity because I didn't need it at the time.
Right.
Mhm.
But now I've got a secondary tank, but it's still a small compressor filling both tanks. So
Right.
it takes it a while. And, I like to hug a dug on stuff. So I
Sure.
wear out air pressure pretty quick.
Yeah. You'll have that.
Yeah. It does sound cool though. That's the one thing about pneumatic tools is the sound is that's number one sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into you.
Okay, here's the thing. I have been harassed mercilessly. How's that word go?
Mercilessly.
Yes, that one. About my answers to these questions.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently,
Aaron and I got you good on Sunday.
it is terrible. So I'm just gonna answer the question, which I hope I get credit for how difficult this is. I am buying battery tools. I'm selling hand tools, burning pneumatics to the ground.
There we go.
That's my answer.
That was nice.
That works. Yeah.
But I'd really like a chance to explain myself.
Okay.
See, usually Jake has to put a bunch of qualifiers on.
Uh,
So
Well, okay.
he sits there and asks 15 questions before he gives his rankings because he wants to hammer out every little detail.
Okay, is it okay now that I've answered it?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
it.
Can we visit about it now,
Okay.
or will I be criticized for this as well?
I make no guarantees.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Okay. Like 9 times out of 10, battery power is the way to go. I do like pneumatics for a couple of things if I happen to be in the shop, and that's my option. And we were super on board with that before the battery tools were as good as they are. So I've got some really good Ingersoll Rand rattle guns that, like, if I'm putting blades, so we've got a New Holland disc mower, or a disc bine, I guess is officially what they call it. It's a swather. And, but the air impact does the best job on that. Like I really appreciate it. But to your point, Noah, about cutting the hose. So back in the day when that was the only option, and I was putting sickles and guards in a combine head, and we still had road beans, and a lot of times we'd cut with the row. And so I didn't need to rebuild the whole sickle. It was just those couple that ran down the row.
Yep.
So I decided I wasn't going to pull the sickle out of the head, and I was going to just change the guards and everything right there. So you turn it a little bit and work, and then you turn it a little bit and work. So I was spinning the pulley on the wobble box one time, and like, I kind of got to a tough spot, but you're kind of turning a bunch of the head. So I just figured like, just something, reared back and give it the wah, well, the air hose had dropped between the sickle and the guard.
Oh yeah.
And it was one of the brand new ones I had just changed.
Of course.
And
I mean, the old one.
It cut that thing in half, and then it's whipping around just everywhere.
And then he started talking about, I see where this is going.
But I will say, unlike Jared, our air compressor is heavy duty, and it's got like, I don't know, 3 piston pump on it.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
okay.
And it's like a 75-gallon tank. And I mean, so when that thing went whipping around the shop, it was a bit of a situation. So anyway,
Do you guys drain your tanks?
I do. Yeah. I hate doing it, but
It's pretty easy to do. Mine has just got one of those ball valves.
Yeah,
so it's
mine's
a lot
got one
easier
on the
to-
bottom.
Yeah, and I almost have to because my main tank is only like a 30-gallon. So
Yeah.
it really builds up condensation in a hurry.
oh yeah.
So I almost have to.
Yeah.
For the longest time I didn't, and I was moving just the small red Magnaforce little air compressor,
Oh yeah. Yep.
and it's sloshing. And I'm like, man, what's going on? Like, must need to drain this. And so opened the petcock deal on the bottom. I mean, yeah, it was like maybe a 20-gallon tank, and there was probably like 15 gallons of water in it. I'm like, boy, we need to make a point of doing this more often. So yeah, I do try to do that. The one thing that always makes me nervous is draining the semi tanks.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you like, we got the pull cables and tied to the step or wherever. You grab it and drain it and let go, and then it,
No, I know.
and because that valve sticks and like
Never quite seals up right.
no. And so I know I need to do it, and I do, but it seems like about every third time it doesn't seat back, and
Well, it's the worst that can happen. It's not, you don't need air that bad when you
Yeah,
drive.
right.
Yeah, it'll be
Let's
all
just
right.
keep going.
yeah.
Oh, that's got to be the most frustrating thing about semis is just
Yeah.
the air system. Great when it works, but
I mean,
oh my goodness.
would it be that bad to get a Milwaukee system on there?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Just have electric brakes with
Oh,
a Milwaukee
no.
There
battery.
we go. Uh,
I mean, when you're in our budget range, there is no truck available that does not have a series of leaks on it.
right.
Oh yeah, for real.
My Peterbilt that I bought, Evelyn.
Yeah, Evelyn. There we go.
Evelyn.
I knew that one.
Oh, she's a hog. Dude, love the truck, but that thing, it leaked so much air. Like
No.
there was like 4 leaks,
Yeah.
and we found, like, okay, well, it's leaking here, somewhere in there. Whatever. We're just gonna start it, let it run for a half hour to build air. It was ridiculous. It was. I mean, about the time you turn the truck off, you could start seeing it sink a
Yeah.
little bit,
I
and
know.
oh,
That's the thing. You finally fix one. You're like, great. I'm like, now it'll still have air in it in the morning. You get out there. It's like, nope.
yeah, it's not
Nope.
even close.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get in a situation where it's not just air. Like, oh, look, it's also leaking fuel.
Yeah, right.
I might need to fix that.
That's super awesome. You were talking about air tools before. I remember growing up, we had a air grease gun.
That's right. Those were around, weren't
Yep.
they? Yeah.
And it was, I mean, kind of handy for, greasing the combine or the silage chopper or something with like a ton of grease zerks.
Mm-hmm.
Or we ran a fair amount of New Holland equipment and they had tons of grease zerks, no matter what they were. But it's that whole like dragging a hose around.
Yep.
You were kind of talking about that before, and I do agree with that. That's one reason I get tired of air tools is like it gets caught under the tire and you can't get where you're trying to go.
You're like a foot short.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yep.
And so.
Yeah, no, I was remembering that, but I was also thinking, how good a grip strength must have been on guys back in the day with those pistol grip grease guns.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I
don't know how they did that.
That's kind of remember how it started, but it's like, you had to be pretty good at using both hands if you want to get through some pieces of equipment. It'd just wear you out one hand, but boy, I bet grip strength was tremendous.
Well, I'll go one older than that, like when they just had the lever and they weren't even a pistol grip. And so you had to hold it.
That?
I don't know.
That was a terrible design.
You had to hold it with one hand and like pump it with the other, or like pump it against your leg, or have somebody hold the hose.
I know. I was like,
well, my luck with the Zerks sticking on them anyway. I couldn't imagine.
Right.
Well, I mean, half the Zerks are half rounded off, so you can't usually just leave the coupler on. So what you ended up doing was holding on with the coupler with one hand, putting it against your leg and like lifting it up. And if your piston was half stuck, then lift the whole grease gun off your leg. And oh my goodness, that was irritating.
That is the worst part about having an electric grease gun is when that happens and you're angry. You can't throw that. That's kind of expensive.
It's true.
You get some of them old ones. It's like I got like 5 more in the shop. This one's gonna just go flying somewhere.
I think what we're learning is Noah's working on something. You better, make your presence known before you kind of walk within throwing range.
Oh, I never get mad. No, never.
That's true.
Sounds like he needs to work on anger management.
Well, you feel a lot better after you throw a wrench sometimes. I mean, it's like soothing therapy.
I'm sure there is somebody in the grease industry that has done this study, but I wonder, since the advent of electric grease guns, grease sales have had to go up.
My goodness.
Oh, yeah.
500 times.
Oh, yeah. So much.
I mean, you're putting more than 3 pumps in it now.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just nothing to keep pumping until you see grease come out. So
oh, yeah.
And once you do that, you might as well keep doing it.
Yeah. It's like after 25 at the pistol grip, you're like, I got 13 of these to go. I mean, surely this is enough.
Right? Yeah. And now you pump grease till you put the seals out and everything.
Oh, I know it.
It don't matter. We'll fill that thing full of grease.
Well, at least there's grease in it.
Yeah. That's
exactly.
always been my philosophy on like if a gearbox is leaking. If it's leaking, there's still oil in it.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's a good reason to just lease equipment.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to grease that stuff. You just turn it back.
Well, the combine we lease, we do try to grease it, I guess. But there's a few of those. It's like, this is kind of a hassle, and it's a 400 whatever hour greaser. It'll be fine.
That's what
we'll deal with it.
I actually hear that's why they do the 400 hour service intervals just to get lease customers. Is so they're like, well, those are ones I don't ever have to hit. Which, you talk to a service tech guy, they say they're all 10 hours or something.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a question. And I don't know on the newer combines now, but like the red ones, we were running like the 23s and whatever. The turret for the auger, it was like a 10-hour grease zerk. So is that 10 hours of running the machine or 10 hours of swinging the auger?
Oh. I'd say, well,
probably the machine, I'd guess.
I assume that's the case too, but you know what I mean?
It is a nice thought.
Like you read some of that and you're like, oh, that's a 20-hour, like say there was a part on the unloader. Well, does that mean like 20 hours of the unloader running or just 20 hours of machine operation? They really should be more specific.
Should clarify that.
Because
it's probably in the small print, so that way they get out of like having to do a
warranty claim.
No.
Yeah,
that's right. Like either way you do it, it's going to be void.
Because really, 10 hours of swinging the auger, you grease that puppy once at the start of the season, man, you're good all year.
You're good all year.
Where are all these iron filings coming?
Like make them easier to find too.
That would be too much. It's a puzzle trying to find. The best part's when it shows a sticker on the side of the comment. Oh, it's just right there.
Yeah, like an arrow point to it. It's
and
10
you
feet
get
away.
There, yeah, it's not even close. It's on the other side.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
Is there anything more stressful than halfway through harvest finding another grease zerk you've never hit on a harvest?
Oh, yes. And everything's dry. Yeah.
Still got paint on it or that little plastic cap. Like, oh, no, that's never been greased.
Boy, I never saw that one before.
Now, do I grease it or do I just...
It's been working fine without it.
Okay, how about if you have a grease bank?
No, those are nice.
Oh, yes.
And
You
then
a
like
grease bank.
a foot and a half away from the grease bank is another
This is
Zerk.
Zerk.
Yeah.
And like really, you couldn't put
Couldn't
one
just-
more?
yeah.
Like, so they're all right here?
Well,
Yep.
you gotta like play with you a little bit. Like, oh, this is too easy, but we're gonna throw these in here to make it a little bit more difficult.
Right?
Like,
Like that certain brand of baler that we both run. It's that way.
Yeah, it's true.
Here's
That is true.
here's a bank of Zerks, and then like, here's one we could have easily put in there, but it's over here by itself.
Yeah, but that bank is for the top roller. I do appreciate they put that in.
I appreciate that as well, but I'll be quiet.
have you seen those where you connect it to the Zerk and you like twist it on or like?
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah,
locking
yeah.
coupler.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That's a nice idea if you have 10 Zerks on a machine.
Exactly.
But when you're working on like my cultivator,
Yeah.
I do not have time for that.
I love how they work, but there's so many situations they don't. It's too tight. or
Yep.
Stuff like that. But
And that's not on your everyday grease gun. That's the special grease gun for just breaking loose stubborn ones.
Yeah.
see, I have to change the tips every time, which is not the handiest thing to do.
Just get another grease gun.
Well, there's drawings, and I keep trying to enter drawings, and I just haven't worked out yet.
Oh, maybe you should buy more feed. Get entered in more drawings.
It's like if you're doing a drawing,
Spent $500 for a drawing on a grease gun.
Yeah.
that cost you $250.
So instead of buying feed a ton at a time, I'll swing by every day and get a bag.
It would help.
Okay.
Yeah, help the cause.
Okay.
Yeah, no, a ton every day.
No, just a bag.
Oh, no,
I don't
that-
need that much.
No, that doesn't change anything.
I'll just bring in a bag and get an entry and come get another bag. Just buy a ton of bag at a time
Oh man, yeah, something like that. So, yeah,
and
what?
ask for help loading it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we are full service. So,
Okay.
yeah. Which, all right. There's another thought for you. And I have never been to a full service gas station. Was that not great coffee there at the
It
end?
got cold.
You're making faces.
Whoa, that was cold. Coffee's bad when it's cold.
No, it's fine. I mean, I don't buy it cold intentionally, but if it gets cold, I'm still okay.
Well, not when you're expecting it to be hot.
Have either one of you guys ever been to a full service like gas station before?
Uh-uh.
I have not either. That whole concept seems strange to me, though. Like you have a guy that just literally hung around all day to pump some gas.
In
for
New
you?
Jersey, you can't pump your own gas.
Really?
You have to have someone pump it for you.
That's weird.
I
Yeah.
think I'd buy gas somewhere else.
Like they talk, New Jersey people talk about, they come out, they sit at gas pumps, they sit there for like 10 minutes waiting for someone to come out.
until somebody honks the horn at them.
Because it's not that they got used to it, they're just flat not allowed to.
Really,
Can't do it.
I wonder what the reasoning is.
No, I don't know
Liability
if
or
it's like
something, or-
preventing the pumping in your tank and then driving off. If they're trying to cut down on that.
That could be. So, do they have pay at the pump then?
No, you hand the attendant your card.
Really?
He puts it in the machine
Hmm.
and then fills
Really?
your tank. You can tell him a certain amount or whatever.
So I saw a meme. You guys probably all seen it too. It's the guy. It's all snowed up. His beard's all iced over,
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. And it's like the gas pump. Do you want a car wash? Do you want a receipt? Are you a member of the Savers Club? Whatever. It's minus
Yep.
30 degrees.
Oh, I
and,
know.
Like,
Yep.
no, just want gas.
They
Do
put
you
it
wanna
on
join
full
a car?
bore,
Yeah.
and it's just slowly counting up.
There's been times I'm just like, this isn't worth it. I'm just gonna go to the next gas
Oh,
station.
I know.
Oh,
It's-
man, I tell you.
yeah.
So, what do you got coming down the line? Any big plans? Anything big going on for?
I'm gonna go to Louisville here, middle of February.
Yeah,
Nice.
usually around Valentine's Day, I think.
Yeah, yep. I'm gonna go there and stay with friends again. Go to the farm show.
You gonna catch tractor pull?
Gonna try.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well-
so loud.
Well, right.
I've never been. That was the first time I've ever been in an indoor tractor pull.
Yeah, and I will say there is
Oh.
a drastic difference.
It's insane. The ones with like the 4 engines or whatever
Yeah.
on them, those little. Oh, jeez. Like I can't plug my ears enough for it not to be loud. Then.
Oh,
either.
yeah.
Oh my.
You are right about that. There is a drastic difference. The first one I ever went to, Lincoln used to have the Cornhusker Classic indoor pull, and I don't know why. It's just all antiques now, but it used to be the Outlaws, and yeah, it's a whole different level of noise
Yeah.
inside. Yeah.
Because they're like, oh well, monster trucks are so loud. I'm like, nah.
Right.
Check this out. This is
Right.
like a large lawnmower with 4 huge engines on it.
Right.
That'll get you there.
That'll get you there. Yes, that is a fact. What do you got going on at the farm show? Are you hanging out at a booth, or are you just going down?
Well, I'll be just kind of walking around with some friends. Farmer Grace, I think she probably will have somewhere to sit. And then pretty much other than that, we just we'll go to the tractor show, going to go see Parker McCollum.
Oh, yeah.
And then, the bars. And
Yeah.
I was going to say you should name drop some people.
oh, yeah. Yeah, Farmer Grace will be there, and Gavin and Farmer Bees. There's usually a good crowd. You always see someone new there. And
Yeah.
New and familiar faces. It's a pretty fun time.
Any official meetup stuff going on, or you just kind of all meet up when you're hanging out?
Just kind of meet up when I'm hanging out. We have there's a summer deal. My friend Mike, they have like a barbecue.
Oh,
where
nice.
There'll be a bunch of creators that show up there.
Nice.
A lot of the creators I talk to are the smaller ones.
Sure.
And they're just just farmers like us. And some of the bigger creators I talk to, and then like the next minute they're gone because someone will recognize them. And, oh, hey, can I get a picture?
Yeah, that would be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it happens to me every once in a while, and it's cool and all, but when you're having a good conversation with a friend,
Right.
and then that picture turns into a 20-minute talk about farming and markets and all this.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I don't know. Props to the big creators for handling it, because they're really chill how they do.
We had to get Noah on before he got big.
Yeah.
Or bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, before he got too cool for
Before
us.
he got too cool.
God. Yeah, I can't imagine being a big enough creator to where you can actually charge people to
Right.
yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
I suppose so.
Oh, I'm going to charge you $10 for a picture and an autograph.
No, man.
Oh yeah.
My guess is somebody started using that as a way to not have to stop for pictures. Like, can I get a picture? Yeah, $10.
$10.
And then somebody went, okay. And they're like, no, wait a minute.
We're on to something here.
You mean I can make money?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But that is interesting. Yeah, I would like to get, I have never been, I would like to go just check out the farm show just to
It's massive.
check it out.
Is it?
It puts Husker Harvest Days to shame.
No kid.
I've heard that.
Yes.
Wow.
Because you're walking around. And
It's
then,
all indoor.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's
Oh my
it.
goodness.
Nope, there's another massive building.
Wow.
Okay, more stuff.
The thing that I would like to do, I know what a corn planter looks like. I understand combines, all that kind of stuff, swathers and balers, and never seen a cotton picker in real life.
Really?
Never seen any peanut harvesting equipment. I want to go see all that, sugar cane stuff.
Right.
I want to see that stuff that we don't see here.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen some potato equipment, I guess, but yeah, just some of that stuff that you don't get a chance to see every day.
Yeah,
I think that'd be fun.
Oh, there's a new model of John Deere combine I'll never be able to afford.
Exactly.
Just like last year's, a little more expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
I had people get excited for the new model because they can get it owned, and I'm like, all right, that just makes the model I was looking at a little more affordable now that they came out with the new one.
Well, I will be able to afford that 8R tractor
I was gonna
in
say
20 years.
Yeah.
5 owners later.
It's like that first S series combine just got a lot more affordable now.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Because now what do they have out? What is it?
S7.
Yeah. They're like all
S7.
S7s and then just different numbers after
And
that.
now the new S7s they look like an X9.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So that's a selling point right there.
Yeah, they switched numbers. Like all the combines are all S7s or something like that. And then there's I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I gave you a ride over to,
That's right.
and there's an X9. Oh no, wait, that's an S7, and then something.
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
salesmen haven't come out from our sit down yet this year.
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I guess, do you still call it tin work? I guess the plastic work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like an X9, but
Yeah. That's
So-
like an added $20,000 feature
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to look like
Right.
an X9.
right.
I wonder what they labeled it. How they come up with these names
Yeah.
are great.
Well, I think it was Tony Reed or someone. They just stuck X9 on their combiner.
Yeah. Right. The
Right.
tractor
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Which, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Might as well have a little fun with
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to buy an X9 for my 8-row corn head.
it. Right.
Yeah,
road gear.
right.
Right. Yeah. Make sure you fold the ladder in.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I don't know if they'll let you run without the ladder folded in.
Yeah,
There's
right.
so many sensors.
Oh, that is no kid.
I heard of there was a few salesmen at a farm show, and there was like a 16-row corn head on an X9 1100 or whatever, and it was I think it was almost 35 moisture corn, and they were just flying with the thing.
Man.
Not surprisingly, plugged it,
Yeah.
thumbed it up.
Yeah.
It said it took all day for them to get that thing cleaned out of there.
Yeah, and the guy that set that is now looking for a new opportunity.
Yeah.
with a different.
I was going to say the guy driving it probably stepped out of the cab and walked off. I was like, well, let me know when she's ready to go.
Yeah. I'm really impressed.
Yeah,
Plugged up really fast.
Yeah.
The tech that set that's working on gleaner combines now. But,
Case wouldn't hire him.
Yeah.
They had to go with the cleaner.
Blue Glass Mafia.
right. I don't have anything else for this time.
No,
Noah.
I was going to say, hope we have him back.
Yeah. We will.
There's a lot more to talk to Noah about, but I didn't want to use it all up this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spread it out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Unless he gets too big at Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville.
Louisville. Like you're trying to cough something up.
Yeah. Little hairball.
Yeah.
Louisville.
It'd be all right. Are you driving down or flying down?
I
or?
fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot better just to, that way you can, if you're a little hungover when you're headed back home,
Yeah.
you
You're
only
not
feel
driving.
miserable for a few hours,
Yeah.
not trying to drive through it.
I suppose that's true.
So,
Yeah. You fly. Can you get a Grand Island flight down there?
I think I could, but I always just fly to Omaha.
Yeah.
Because, then you don't have to worry about your pickup getting bashed in and stuff stolen.
That
If you saw my
happened to
TikToks, you would know that was a lie.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot simpler, and
Yeah.
I hate driving a long distance because then you get there and you're tired.
Or
Yeah.
Yep.
So that way you just get out and you're ready to rock.
Yep.
Nice.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Alrighty, well, I think that'll wrap it up for this episode. Yeah, if you find yourself down in Louisville, Louisville, at the farm show
Kentucky.
at Kentucky.
Oh.
And you find yourself at the tractor pull or anything like that, go find our friend Noah, tell him we said hi,
Absolutely.
and see if you can't get a picture and an autograph.
yeah. Cost you $10.
Yeah, it cost you $10.
Just a beer.
Bring correct change.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's well worth the money.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I guess until next time, we'll pull up to the end, let you out, and we'll see you guys all later. Bye.
Stories of the crops and the toil we face. Farmers 10 podcasts bring